What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. And today we are going to be going over what if Naruto had a all new dojutsu part 4. And in this episode we'll be starting in the tuning exams. But first off, I just had to clear up a few things and stuff like that. Now, in our last episode we ended off with the 2 weeks right before the tuning exams. I told you what he did for training. He still meets Gaara, but this time he's all alone. And instead of messing with the puppet guy, whatever his name is, I'm just going to call him the puppet guy. He just knocks him out immediately and just kind of starts walking away with, what's the kid's name? With the third Hokage's grandson, and of course Gaara asks who he is, and he just responds, "None of your business," and walks away. Now I also mentioned that Naruto was cocky enough to think that he's more powerful than the Hokage. In time, of course he will be, but he isn't. And I want to say he thought that to himself. He isn't super arrogant, but he thinks it to himself, like to hype himself up. That's what I was trying to say. Not like he said it out loud and everyone heard him. He was just hyping himself up for whatever was to come, if there was anything to come. Naruto moves out of his hotel also in these 2 weeks, and from the money that he got from Gato, his entire fortune, he moves out of his hotel, or wherever he was staying in Cannon, that apartment complex, and he moves into a actual house, like a super big house, like a mansion. Now he just has a crap ton of money from defeating Gato, so he doesn't have to rely on too much on doing missions anymore for money. Only missions for really helping the village out. So yeah. Now let's start the tuning exams. The day of the tuning exams. Naruto picks up Shikamaru and Ino and brings them to the building that it was going to be held. And they go inside. They just walk right by the genjutsu because Naruto just kind of looked at them and shook his head. And they just knew. So they followed him, and people saw him walking by and asked them, why are you walking by? The room's right here. And they just say, are you seriously falling for that super weak genjutsu? And they look at it again, but now realizing that it's a genjutsu and try to see through it. And they realize, oh shit, it is just a genjutsu. So that happened, and everyone is already like, what is this? Who is this team? They were able to see through it so easily when the rest of us were idiots and trying to get through a door that doesn't even matter. So everyone starts heading to the actual classroom. They get there. Naruto immediately figures out that the whole point of the test is for cheating. He tells the other two before they part to their assigned seats. So let me move my chair here. And, so Sasuke, he uses his two Tomoe in both eyes, and Ino just takes over the mind of one of the Jonin that were also in disguise taking the test as well. Naruto, he's just pretty naturally smart, so he gets about 50% of it himself. But then he uses his first technique of his, or he uses one of his techniques of his Beastagon to have a full 364 vision of everything. It's stronger than the Byakugan, where he just kind of looks at the answers off of everyone and figures out who has similar answers to find out which answers are most likely right due to the most majority doing the same answers. But that doesn't matter. I'm just going to say they passed it with flying colors. A lot more people left, like 5 to 10 more teams in the end, just because Naruto doesn't give off his big speech. In the end, the girl throws the brick. I gotta get better with names. I gotta rewatch it and really pay attention to names. But I'm just gonna call her the lady for now. The lady throws the brick through the window and comes in saying that the next part of the tuning exams will be done by me, and to meet at the Forest of Death in 5 hours. Naruto says okay, and just well, no, I'm gonna say he doesn't pay any attention at all to her. Just talking to the person next to him. And she throws a kunai at him, which he just catches with one finger without even looking, and looks at her and throws the kunai back at her, sticking right beside her head into the wall, leaving a indent in the wall, where if it would have hit her, it would have killed her. And she just is really shocked by this, that he was completely willing to throw a deadly shot at a Jonin without thinking of the consequences. So that happened. That's all I have to say about that. That took way too much time to explain. So let's move on. The 5 hours, he goes off to each something ramen. God. Yeah, he goes to his favorite ramen shop, which we all know is Ichi Ramen. And he eats a full meal. The guy says it's on him for passing the first step of the tuning exams. And that's basically it. He goes there and waits. His team shows up, and they were waiting in line, first in line, to get their scroll. Again, Naruto wasn't listening before they went into the forest. Skip 5 hours later, when everyone's there, and they just say, and she puts a snake in the ground to come up and bite his foot. And basically what happens is when the snake comes up to bite his foot from underground, he just brings his foot up and stomps it on the ground, crushing the ground underneath. In the process, crushing the snake that was underneath the ground. And her being completely connected with her snakes feels this, and she's like, oh, ow. She's crushing every inch of the snake and killing the snake. Now, that would be painful. If she would be able to feel that, which she is. And she falls down to the ground in pain, and Naruto just scoffs and laughs at her. And walks up to her and then walks by her, walking up to the gate, calling for his team. And the proctors then say, begin, and they all run to their gates that they were assigned to, running in. Naruto, Ino, and Naruto, Ino, and Shikamaru, Naruto just says, wait here, and he goes off. He comes back with about 5 scrolls, and this one, I'm not going to have them needing 2 scrolls. They need 2 Earth scrolls and 2 Heaven scrolls. I'm going to completely rid of the preliminaries, because this is going to get rid of a lot of teams. And this will make the story go by faster. Naruto comes back with the scrolls that he needs, like 5 minutes later. They're super impressed, but they head directly there with Naruto grabbing them and just grabbing them and putting them underneath his arms and taking off his weights and putting them in his bag, which they fall right through the bag, and he's like, ah, crap, I should have thought of that. So then he grabs them in his hands and picks up everything in his bag along with his bag and puts them in a big red scroll on his back. Now, he doesn't know it at this time, but this is going to be kind of his look, with wearing everything black, along with black fingerless gloves, black shoes, black pants, black shirt, black ninja shoes, and then this is going to be I'm going to say a big black scroll on his back so he can carry everything. So he starts heading off. He starts heading off with them in his hands, and he gets there about an hour before Gaara, holding the fastest time, even in the new tuning exams, with the needing to have 4 scrolls instead of just the 2 usual. And they're all super impressed at having the all-time fastest score on a modified Forest of Death. So they all go to their room except for Naruto and Ino. Now, I am shipping Naruto and Ino just because I like that ship for some apparent reason. When I think Naruto and Ino. And I don't know why, that's just the first ship that comes to mind. And I think it would have worked out a lot better instead of Hinata. Just think about it. It would have all changed if Ino would have just took over Pain's mind. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, Naruto and Ino goes to the same room and they talk and they talk. Now, days are going to go by with them staying there, and they talk pretty much all night. And they wake up the next day with Shikamaru opening up the door and walking in looking for him. And he will walk into Naruto sleeping in the same bed as Ino. Now, you pervs, they're not doing nothing. They just were talking, sitting on the bed, and they just fell to sleep like that. So he yells, Naruto, Ino, and they both wake up to see them with Ino laying on Naruto's chest, and Naruto's still little asleep, and Ino is just kind of looking at him with her face all red, just not knowing what happened last night, and her almost thinking a little bit of something like that did happen, and a big blush comes on her face. Naruto then wakes up and says, oh, good morning, Ino, how are you? And this kind of erases any thoughts of that happening. Just seeing her thinking of him having a different response if something like that would have happened. So they get up and they just kind of laugh about it, like, that was so awkward, haha. And Ino is just like, yeah, awkward. But it was fun, we should do it again. Sleep, and then Naruto's like, what, sleep together? And Ino just blushes and said, no, silly, hanging out. And Naruto just smiles and agrees and asks her out to Ichugacha Ramen later on that day. She gladly accepts, and yeah, she gladly accepts, and they go to Ichi Ramen that evening. I'm going to say there's going to be a skip until everyone else gets through the forest of death, everyone who's going to pass. All of the Konoha 11 pass, and then, of course, Gaara passes, along with the Sun 4. And yeah, that's who passed. And for people who are wondering, Sasuke doesn't matter, but he does have the curse mark, so he does get it sealed right before they go in. And Naruto goes into the main arena, or no, they get the. Now it's a month and a half because there isn't no preliminary rounds taking up that half a month. That the preliminary exams happen, or the prelims happened. They're gonna get a full month and a half to go back to wherever they're from, or go and practice in the village, whatever, for a month and a half. Nothing really happens during this time. Too important, Naruto starts working on his three-tailed cloak, and actually a big importance is Naruto comes super close at one time of unlocking his first Tomoe on his Beastagon. Now that's important, but that won't happen for a while because the first one of the Beastagon Tomoes are the hardest one to get out of even the strongest one. So Naruto and Ino goes on a lot more dates, now realizing they both have feelings for each other. So that's going all well for them. They're gaining a quite large friendship, and they've kissed one time, but except for that, that doesn't matter to the story too much at this time. But I'm just going to say he meets Jiraiya. Naruto tells him that he's always kind of worked alone, and he doesn't really want Jiraiya's help. Jiraiya gets all mad and tells him that he's a legendary Sani, and Naruto still says, "I really don't care, old man. Can you leave me alone so I can go and get back to training?" And he says, "Sure, if you can beat me in a tussle, then I'll allow you to do whatever you want, but I still want to look over your progress, even if you do win." Naruto says deal, and he takes off his weights and drops them next to him for intimidation, cracking all of the ground around them. And Jiraiya just kind of looks at him, just like, holy shit, this is going to be a fight. Naruto then pulls out his two blades and infuses them in electric chakra. And saying that Naruto has already been so improved during the Land of the Waves arc, when he taught Ino and Shikamaru tree walking, he was teaching Naruto. Naruto's elements are wind. Okay, let me think. In this series, they're going to be wind, fire, and lightning are going to be his three primary elements from a stray piece of chakra paper that he had in his pouch. He figured that out, and yeah, so that happened. And he starts teaching Naruto the Chidori because he thinks the eye that he has is a version of the Sharingan, which it isn't. But he thinks so, so he teaches Naruto the Chidori along with helping him gain a stage 1 lightning cloak. Just increasing his speed and being able to paralyze people with his lightning. Except for that, nothing much really happens. That's pretty much, he teaches that to him, and then he goes off to train Sasuke. Now, in this version, they're both getting the Chidori, and then I'm not quite sure. Okay, something I want to tell you guys is I don't go off a script. Oh god, my video actually has to come to the end here pretty quick as soon as I say that. I don't go off a script. I don't write a script. I just go off whatever comes to my mind as I'm telling you guys this story. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be posting another video today. This will be my second video I'll post today because we did it. We reached 10 subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much, and I love you guys. Or wait, no, what am I doing? I'm going to close out my video before I say like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions or anything like that. I'll be glad to answer them. If you have any ideas for the series or a future series, also feel I would love to hear from you guys. That's what I'm trying to get to. So comment down below. It'd be appreciated. I love you guys. Peace.